So we'll begin with the Pitchfork article. The first thing I noticed here was the frickin' headline. DIPLO accused of distributing revenge P in New York, new police reports. Sorry, that was a Freudian slip. Do you notice how that headline doesn't state that he's under investigation? It just makes it kind of feel like, oh, there's a police report. Not that he's currently being investigated. Side note is that this is a separate police report because DIPLO has been accused of this before. This is the second time. So it kind of feels like it's old news. I don't know if anyone's been following DIPLO or not with all of his allegations, arbitration, etc. One of the key notes in it was about the revenge P. A lot of headlines. They got it wrong and stated that this arbitration win in regards to the revenge P. The original headline for Pitchfork's article when it came to arbitration was this like win in regards to revenge P, which I will be showing that original hyperlink to that. I had to reach out to Matthew Strauss at Pitchfork about that. And what I've been hearing is that these survivors have been dealing with 3 months of this re-traumatization and then having to deal with a fact checker as well. Where was the fact checker when it came to the survivor? And not only was it such a mess up, it was defamatory towards the reported survivor. It smeared her name. Now, if this up that Pitchfork did when it came to the reported survivor, if this happened to DIPLO, Pitchfork would be sued. I mean, sued. And so you can see, this is my personal opinion here when I'm looking at this situation. You go, oh, that's because Pitchfork is more afraid of the person who's in a position of power. The person who's in a position of power also has expensive resources like powerful lawyers, crisis managers. They're more apprehensive when it comes to publishing something than when it comes to publishing something that is false when it comes to the survivor. Guess who else had to reach out to Matthew Strauss? The survivor. And that should not be what the survivor's having to do that day when she is being traumatized by what the headlines are. And she doesn't have the resources to change that narrative. She can't flex to Pitchfork, I'm gonna sue you and send a 20-page article to Pitchfork. So she has to end up sending an email to Matthew Strauss. And this is not saying Matthew Strauss is a bad guy. Actually, the people who are working at these institutions are good guys. But there is the guys at the top that they have to, So she emails Matthew Strauss and they correct the headline. But how long would that headline have gone around if it wasn't for me being like, wait a minute, this arbitration does not have to do with the accusations when it comes to the revenge P, and then is gonna have to do that as well. You must remember that the rest of these publications, they're all kind of lazy, and so they just pick up whatever is circulating. And I really do believe they know that once one headline begins like that, most likely all of them are gonna be saying the same thing. All of these headlines, DIPLO wins arbitration in regards to SA, revenge P, when the arbitration did not have to do with that. Imagine that's everywhere and you can't do anything about it really because it's already began. What are you gonna do? Hit up every single media outlet? I don't even think Matthew ended up responding, but at least it was switched over. But the damage was done. And what my point is, if these individuals want things to be fair in these articles, to make sure they're non-biased, etc., it better be real fair. Where was the fact checker when it came to that headline? You just took the day off? So starting there, this headline makes me feel like it's still trying to, in my opinion, repeat the same narrative, this revenge P. So if you already saw those headlines when it came to arbitration and it came to revenge P, you're just thinking, oh shit, this is like the same thing that already he won. But no, this is actually a different scenario because when you read the article, we're going to actually learn that it is a different situation. But also it leaves out a lot of other key information like investigation and the fact that reported survivor got granted a temporary restraining order. and DIPLO's got denied. As a survivor, this is just my feeling for the day, that if it was who had her TRO declined and not granted by the judge, that would have been the headline. You know what I mean? It would have been like this police report and, survivor's TRO gets denied. But no, it's very confusing. Let's get into this. So at least I gave you my spiel when it comes to headlines and the narrative that's now in place. A California woman who is involved in civil litigation with the producer told police that DIPLO sent photos of her to another person for revenge. DIPLO's lawyer has said the report is part of an ongoing smear campaign against the musician. This is written by Carly Lewis. A California woman filed a police report with the Los Angeles Police Department against DIPLO in August, alleging that he distributed photographs of her without permission. Pitchfork has learned the woman, Shelly August, has been involved in a legal battle with the superstar producer. Is he really a superstar? Born Thomas Wesley Pence since 2020. And this is the second time she has accused him of distributing revenge P. DIPLO was not charged criminally over the initial allegation. In November, the LAPD submitted August's new case to the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office, where it is currently under review. August is currently suing DIPLO for SB, gender V, intentional intrusion into private affairs, B, A, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and fraud, as well as violation of the Rolfe Civil Rights Act and violation of the Tom Baines Civil Rights Act, with a civil trial currently scheduled for April 2024. DIPLO publicly denied her allegations in October 2021 after she filed her initial claim in June of that year. DIPLO is currently suing August for stalking, trespassing, and distributing private materials. The lawsuit filed by DIPLO in April 2021 alleges August to be dangerously unstable and claims she made relentless efforts to communicate with him after he ended their relationship, including through fake social media accounts. First of all, can we get to what's actually happening? He's under review for a police report. It's a crime image-based essay. Most likely, the reported survivor would have to hand over to the police, detective, etc., the evidence of this, right? We're not talking about civil anymore. This is about legit police under review. You got to come with the receipts. And I'm not saying that I know for a fact if she came with receipts or not, but if it's under review, what I've learned through the criminal system is that you usually have to have shown the receipts. And this is all like, let's talk about the civil suit. Like, we've all spoken about these civil suits forever, in my personal opinion. We've seen the headlines a bunch of times. We've seen the headlines when it came to the first police report. We got it. Let's just get right into what needs to be said. When reached by Pitchfork for comment on the August police report, DIPLO's attorney, here he is, Brian Friedman. Okay, so do we remember Brian Friedman? This is Brian Friedman. This is DIPLO's lawyer. So Friedman added, now Miss August is at it yet again, but West will defend himself, and just as he done every time Miss August has defamed, harassed, and ATTACKED him and his family, he will win. Shelly August has said in her civil litigation that DIPLO first contacted her on Twitter in 2014 when she was 17 years old and he was 35 or 36 years old. They formed an intermittent online correspondence predicated on her sending him photos, according to the lawsuit, and met in person at a nightclub in 2018. According to the complaint filed by DIPLO, he and August first met over social media around 2018. In 2019, when August was 22 years old, the two had S for the first time. In her complaint, August alleges that DIPLO recorded the blank on his cell phone without consent. According to both August's lawsuit against DIPLO and DIPLO's lawsuit against August, they had S again in July 2019 after DIPLO invited August to his hotel room. August's lawsuit claims she was highly intoxicated and barely able to walk or see straight, but also describes their first S interaction that evening as consensual. However, the complaint also describes a second S encounter from the same evening. August claims in her lawsuit that DIPLO blanked her non-consensually while she told him no and tried to fight him off before getting dressed and running out of the hotel room crying. As described in August's lawsuit, DIPLO and August then entered into a tumultuous cycle. In September 2019, according to her complaint, August confronted DIPLO at a party, claiming that he had given her a blank transmitted blank. After insisting he did not have one, she claims he ignored her. After February 2020, according to the complaint, he invited her to his house. When she arrived, he texted her saying he was not home. In competing civil litigation, DIPLO says August arrived unannounced and that he felt uneasy about the incident. It does not mention the claim that he gave her the blank, 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 but he publicly called the allegation not true. The complaint claims that DIPLO appeared to get pressure from putting down Miss August and that he knew she was an impressionable and vulnerable young woman as he had broomed her since she was a teenager. DIPLO's complaint describes him as having suffered emotional distress during this time period. In November 2020, August sought and was granted a temporary restraining order against DIPLO. At the time, Friedman, DIPLO's lawyer, said that she has been harassing DIPLO and his family for more than a year. DIPLO also secured his own restraining order against August. In July 2021, August filed a police report accusing DIPLO of recording. It is so far deep in here. I understand the getting it all in there, but where is what's going on right now? It's like, when you go in, when you're trying to find like your t-shirt and your like closet's a mess, you're just like, okay, but I'm really just want to get the t-shirt. This is what it feels like. It's like, okay, all right, I got that. Okay. But where is the thing that I clicked on for this? Like, why? I'm here for a reason. I want to hear what's currently going on. Why is it so deep in here? It feels like I'm reading the same article I've read, honestly, 100 times about DIPLO. Like, this article has been done before. Whatever the ending is when it gets into what's actually currently happening, that's the new part. I mean, let's be real. This feels very, very, very manicured. Let's get to the point, dude. They read the first 3 paragraphs and they're just like, okay, they both sued each other. All right, got it. Moving on to the next whatever headline. Sadly, that's how people are. In July 2021, August filed a police report again accusing DIPLO of recording and distributing as content without her permission. August explained in her complaint that she sought legal action because a fake Twitter page, which she believes belonged to DIPLO, shared an unredacted photo of her blank and blank online. The account posted the photo she alleges because she had shared her true personal experiences with DIPLO on Twitter. At the time, California's statute of limitations gave victims only 1 year after the content was posted to pursue legal action. See, this is also a huge issue. Here's the statute of limitations again. 1 year only? What is it, a race? That is so short. And also you have to have the resources, the therapy, the mental capacity. Like 1 year, survivors aren't even like walking yet. California statute of limitations gave victims only 1 year after the content was posted to pursue legal action. And August's case expired. Victims now have 1 year from the discovery of Revenge P to pursue legal action per Senate Bill 23. So it's changed. Los Angeles City Attorney's Office did not elaborate on the reason for declining to pursue charges. Interesting. In January 2021, the two signed a dual restraining order agreement concurring not to disparage each other. In September 2022, an arbitrator determined that subsequent tweets and Instagram stories of August constituted breaches of the agreement. Now remember, arbitration, when it comes to essay, Joe Biden has made it illegal in the workplace. So in a work environment, let's say you get essayed by your boss or by an employee, like a coworker. you are going to most likely go to HR, and then most likely HR is going to try and put you into an arbitration situation. Most likely you already signed an agreement that if something happens in the workplace, you go straight to arbitration. And arbitration only protects the rich people. Let's just get real. It protects the powerful people. You know why? Because arbitration costs like $14,000 a day. And they're retired judges. And sometimes these judges, they're supposed to be picked by both parties. But what I've heard from different experiences of survivors being in these situations, that the lawyers who are representing these individuals with a lot more power, money, etc., they're the ones paying out these arbitrators daily. So in my opinion, that already gives me a red flag, because if that arbitrator is getting hired $14,000 a day and maybe has been picked multiple times by that law firm, lawyer, etc., there is a possibility of favoring there. And I'm not saying it necessarily is happening here, but you have to understand that arbitration is not, there's no jury. It's a retired judge. It's honestly archaic. It's outdated. It was to protect big businesses so that if you slipped and fell, we got to handle privately. Nobody else knows about it. Secrecy, secrecy, secrecy. Or when it comes to Scientology, for example, they have religious arbitration, which is, again, to protect Scientology. Arbitration already gives me the red flag, which is so sad that the headlines made it seem like arbitration was in regards to the essay Revenge P, when obviously we're learning right this second, that's not what it was in regards to. And also arbitration, in my personal opinion, is spooky. I would never want to be in arbitration personally. There's not a good reputation when it comes to arbitration. Story of August constituted breaches of the agreement, resulting in a $1.2 million monetary award to DIPLO. Great. $1.2 million. The media in tweets and Instagram stories in question, including a post showing a screenshot of a publicly stipulated protective order filed by DIPLO, which would keep court testimony sealed from the public praise for California's then new Senate Bill number 1141, which allowed family courts to consider coercive control as DV. A repost of Rihanna tweet saying, never underestimate a man's ability to make you feel guilty for his mistakes. $50,000, I think, on that. Wait, Pitchfork, you didn't even write what the fine was for each violation? I don't know what it is, but I remember reading somewhere $1,000 per violation. It was a Taylor Swift and Rihanna tweet? And remember, the headlines when it came to DIPLO, won this essay case, blah, blah, blah. He literally was able to put a judgment when it came to a tweet. I'm guessing the agreement was directly or indirectly, and so I guess this was indirectly in relation to him. Wow, boy, though, is this very different than the TMZ headline I saw originally when it came to arbitration and everything else. So I was shocked, honestly, that that wasn't properly told in the media originally. So the Taylor Swift lyrics, I don't regret it one bit because he had it coming. And a post supporting the woman who accused NFL player Deshaun Watson of SM in 2021. In between the time of the dual restraining order agreement in January 2021 and the arbitration ruling in September 2022, DIPLO and August filed their competing lawsuits. DIPLO filed his lawsuit against August, alleging stalking, trespassing, distributing. Okay, we got there, we know. Shortly after August filed her lawsuit, another woman also filed a suit against DIPLO, alleging that she was coerced into performing OS on him at an after party in Las Vegas in 2019. So there was another lawsuit. She also alleged that DIPLO filmed the alleged incident non-consensually. The woman withdrew her lawsuit within a month of its filing. An attorney for DIPLO said upon the complaint's withdrawal, as we said when we first learned of this lawsuit, there was absolutely irrefutable evidence that proved that the allegations it contained were false. As soon as we shared that plethora of evidence with the plaintiff's lawyers, they recognized that they needed to withdraw their suit immediately. August went to police with her new claim on Friday, August 18th, 2023, to report that she was the victim of RP. The police report states in the report, it's noted that August told a police officer that she sent N videos and photographs to DIPLO voluntarily. Those items were for him only and not to distribute to others. She added that he distributed some of the N videos and photographs of her online. God, this article, though, I'm not going to lie, just let's go. It's like the same line over and over again. It just feels, okay. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going in. August explained in the report that they were the photographs that either DIPLO took or she had given to him. August, according to the police report, believes that DIPLO is distributing the N photographs because he is mad at her recently filing legal action against him. She stated that he wants to harass and embarrass her. August was granted a new temporary restraining order. Here we go, I guess. We're here. Against DIPLO on September 18th. On August 24th, DIPLO made a request for his own temporary restraining order. That request was denied, with the Superior Court of California stating in its explanation that there are insufficient articulable facts of harassment pled in this petition to warrant the court's issuance of emergency temporary orders. In October, a judge extended August's temporary restraining order until December 2023. August is currently enrolled in California's Safe at Home program, which allows victims of DV stalking, SAHT, and elder independent ABUSC, as well as reproductive health care workers, a substitute mailing address to receive first-class certified and registered mail. Oh, here she is. Wow. She's all the way at the end here. I think it's time the music industry stops enabling the perpetual ABUSE that occurs, Shelley August said in a statement to Pitchfork. I have been silenced for far too long. I hope that with this restraining order, I can finally gain peace and protection. I hope that with the criminal investigation, the justice system gets it right this time. So basically right now, DIPLO is in the middle of a criminal investigation. He, also has a temporary restraining order against him. His TRO was denied against Shelley. Where are all the other accusations? This is why I think this article is really weird. There was apparently a woman who was a part of this article, got, cut out of this article, I guess. But then also there's Azealia Banks. And so we're going to play Azealia Banks' post on Instagram and what she had to say about DIPLO. And it's very important to tune in, especially since I haven't seen anyone really boost this other than on Twitter or, maybe on TikTok. But when it comes to publications, this has not been mentioned. So here we go. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning.
And furthermore, we're really going to have to correct the score. I was very confused when I was called by Vibe magazine and being told that I was going to be on a cover with DIPLO. And I was just like, why am I on a cover with DIPLO? Like, I don't even have any DIPLO songs. Do any of us even know any DIPLO records? No. And no. Do you know the types of things DIPLO used to do to me when I was 17? You know what I mean? And broke. And of course, when you're 17, you're broke and you're you got a little bun in your hair with a little bang and shit like that. You not you don't know your right foundation color yet and all type of shit like that. And I was a little girl. I want a cheeseburger and fries and shit like that. No, do you know the type of just racist, demeaning kind of just if you guys just knew the type of degrading that would do to me. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of gas me and me and make me feel like I had to have with him to get beats from him, and I would have with him, and then he'd be like, oh, I'm saying some beats, da da da, I gotta catch this flight, da da da, and I would ask oh, can I order something from room service, and they would say no. Say no. Grimy, you know what I'm saying? You damn, just sticking your dick hole in this little teenage girl, and she just asked you for a burger and fries, and you said no. Okay. So yeah, I really need everybody to stop running with that narrative of how Diplo found me. Diplo did not find me. I was discovered on MySpace by a guy named 27 Clash. Thank you very much.
That's interesting because I even thought that Diplo was the one who discovered Azealia Banks. So, you know, this came out. Where the hell is this? And I think Azealia Banks has also said stuff about Diplo in the past, too, that were not in favor of Diplo and his, you know, alleged behavior. And I didn't really even see that be told by any journalist or publication. There's just something weird happening here. No, what did Sia sent? Oh, yeah, and MIA too. MIA also had not so favorable things to say about Diplo. And this is the thing, though. Why is Shelly, again, the only person really in this article?